What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Rantpocalypse Talks Cinemax, Robert Kirkman's and Skybound's amazing new TV show that's not quite so new anymore, but Outcast. I'm Justin, by the way.
hey, Justin, I'm Kelly. Yeah, we are a podcasting, video recording. Do you call them recording anymore?
I think that's, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I think that's just,
at least I didn't say, we do the videotaping.
Yeah, we tape our videos. Yeah, we do tape our videos, but we just tape them via Google Hangout. It's weird being back to this because we were just hanging out together over the weekend for San Diego Comic-Con. That's why this Outcast review, recap, and discussion is a little bit later than it normally would be, but it's because we were having a lot of fun watching all the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. Let's discuss this episode, which is episode 7, entitled The Damage Done. And in this episode, Kyle and Allison revisit their past. Reverend Anderson gets a little bit carried away during Remembrance Day celebrations.
Just a little bit.
Just a teensy-weensy bit. So I say we just go, boom, right into it. Let's get into our top 3, and then we'll give our overall thoughts and bacon score at the end of our top 3. Is that cool with you?
That sounds like a good plan.
Number 3 is Allison remembering things on Remembrance Day because she is starting to recollect what actually went down between her, Amber, and Kyle on that very, very tragic day when basically Kyle and Amber and Allison's life went down the shitter.
And you know, how guilty does she have to be feeling to finally realize that all this time it was her and not Kyle? She ruined their life, and he was trying to continue to make it better by taking the blame.
Yeah, that's got to be super duper tough to find out that all this time you've been blaming this other person, yet you are the one that was responsible for all of this. And not only blaming this other person, but the entire freaking town. I mean, he's basically been ostracized by everybody that he runs into.
They made him an outcast.
Exactly. They did make him an outcast. It all ties back in together with the show title. I thought it was very cool to see Allison starting to remember these things. She starts, she touches a doorknob and she gets a vision of a flashback and everything of just basically that day. And then whenever she sees that drawing that Amber did, and it's that figure, it's a stick figure. I mean, that's basically what I could draw too. So me and Amber got some commonalities. But she sees
the black goo coming out of its mouth.
I think one of the coolest things about this too is that Amber actually remembers seeing the black goo basically coming out of Allison. And that was kind of a revelation for Kyle that somebody else has now seen it besides him and the Rev. I
kind of wonder if we're pointing to Amber having maybe the same gift as her dad. That's the way I felt about it, is that they were trying to lead us down that path.
I don't know, maybe she does have these powers like you're saying, because not anybody else has really seen the black goo thus far, but not a whole lot of people have been around whenever these demons have been exercised by Kyle. So I don't know. It would be interesting. I kept thinking that we were going to see something happen with Amber where she may become possessed. We haven't really got another super creepy kid possession since then.
Thank goodness. Well, they led us to believe that in the trailer when we see Amber is in the closet and Allison opens the closet door. And in the trailer, it's very quick. They cut it to where they take stuff out of it to make us, go down that path. And she says, "I don't feel very good," and slams the door. Well, there was there was a lot more conversation that happened. So, we realized that Amber wasn't possessed. She just was, drawing nasty pictures about her mom and was afraid of her mom. All right. So number 2, romance is in the air. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out. One, the fact that Reverend Anderson and Patricia, locked lips in the street. That was pretty interesting.
I thought that was a boss move by Reverend Anderson. I loved when he came out and he's just like, "I'm so sorry, I was a fool." And then he's like, all over her face.
But I didn't know if he did it because he wanted to apologize to her, or if he was trying to get some kind of reaction out of her son, because her son had already flipped him off, and I think he was already getting bad feelings. So it's like, let's bring that pimple to a head, so that we can pop it. Sorry.
Man, I don't think I've ever heard that one before. Yeah, let's
good old Southern saying, let's pop that pimple. So anyway, I was just okay. So I liked it, though. I thought it was pretty cool. The one that I really, really liked was Kyle and Allison making sweet, sweet love. She realizes that it was her fault. He didn't do it, and she feels grateful and ashamed all at the same time. So she goes and they get it on. One, I liked the fact that the scene was really, really touching and emotional for me.
Mm-hmm.
But when they went to kiss and their faces were very close together, she didn't suck stuff out of him, suck his soul. That's what I was I'm like, oh my God.
It's a good thing whenever you're making out with your ex-wife, that she doesn't suck your soul away.
Suck your soul. Which, usually that's, if you ask anybody that's getting a divorce, they will always mention that, the other person sucked their soul out of them.
Yeah, and their money and all their possessions. Yeah. We finally see why this show is on Cinemax as opposed to AMC or maybe Fox or something like that, because we
Come on, gratuitous boobs.
I didn't think it was gratuitous. I thought it was in good taste. Yeah,
I'm sure you did. We didn't see any peen, so I don't.
No, we did not see Patrick Fugit peen. I'm so sorry for you. I'm sure Patrick Fugit was quite upset at that as well. He's like, I'm furious. There's no penis shot in this scene.
Exactly. I feel like
it had been so long for Kyle that he was like looking up for direction from somebody else. Like he's like, hey guys, how do I do this again? I've kind of forgotten, but since Allison has kicked me out and everything. So
yeah, I thought he was looking for Amber, because
gotcha.
Being a responsible adult, you look to see if you're going to traumatize your kid even more. Not only do they see all the black goo, and but seeing your parents doing it is even worse.
I think I'd rather see the black goo than
exactly
that.
Exactly. That's way worse.
All right. Well, getting on to our number one, which I've got to remember what it was. Oh, number one is the Rev goes crazy and is a total badass in this episode.
Yeah, he was a badass. But it's a shame that he didn't really kind of think about some of the stuff that he was doing before he did it. The whole outing of the devil, of Sydney as the devil, in front of everyone at this Remembrance Day ceremony, ripping open his shirt and showing, the carvings and, oh, dude, come on. Everyone's going to think you're crazy.
Everyone was looking at him like he was batshit crazy at that moment. It was not a good time for him to do that, much like Kyle says afterwards, where he kind of scolds him and he says, Rev, I'm with you. We're gonna uncover this mess, but we gotta pick our battles. We gotta pick our moments, and that was not a moment to pick right there, because it was so awesome. He had just had this super badass scene earlier that day before he gave his Remembrance Day speech, of where he goes in the barbershop. He's super cool. He's calm. He's calculated with Sydney, and it just went all to shit whenever he gave that speech. Yeah. Not only was he, just crazy whenever he's calling out Sydney, but his speech was crazy. I mean,
his speech was horrible.
Ever.
There was nothing uplifting about it.
No.
It's basically
what we sow, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. You're all going to hell, you bunch of bastards. And Sydney, there's nothing about him that looks like the devil. He just looks like a nice elderly gentleman. So when you start screaming out that, it's the devil, no one's going to believe it when the dude's just standing there like, me? What?
Yeah, just not a good thing that the Reverend did right there, because now it's going to make it even harder for him to continue on with his crusade of exercising all these possessions and everything, because the townspeople now, if they are possessed, they will steer clear of his ass completely. So, because it's not like we know Sydney got around to a couple of people, and or at least Mildred, and was like, I'm going to take care of this. Then Mildred died. So I don't know if anybody else had been visited by Sydney to stay the hell away from the Reverend and Kyle. But now they're definitely going to stay their ass away. That's for damn sure. Okay, before we get into our overall Bacon scores and our overall thoughts, there was something else that happened in this episode that I thought was very significant. It didn't make our top three. I mean, we had actually quite a few things that could have made our top three, but whenever they're at Remembrance Day and Kyle is talking to Mark, and then Kate Ogden comes up, which is Ogden, which I don't know his first name. He just goes by Ogden in the show, the one that Chief Giles has been trying to track down. And in this episode, he enlists Kyle to find out if he's possessed.
Right.
Kyle touches Kate, and she goes, oh, like it hurt her.
Yeah.
And we find out that she's the one that's possessed. So I thought that was a huge thing.
That was huge. Here she is, this just very, very sweet lady, just oozing goodness, and just is burned so quickly by Kyle. And I didn't know if Kyle was going to, chase her down and around the corner and, beat her until he bled on her. And, I didn't know what was going to happen there. But that was, it was very cool, because I know, earlier he had tried to out Ogden as being the one that was possessed, and that didn't work. So
no,
it's the wife.
It's Ogden's wife.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's still such a fun mystery of what the hell is going on with the RV, because I like the conversation that Ogden had with Chief Giles. He tells Chief Giles, he said, you know how you got that position? Because you looked the other way and people know that? Well, this is the time for both of our sakes to look the other way. So it's almost like Ogden is scared for his life. Not only is he just trying to hide stuff, but it seems like he's truly fearful of something bad happening to him, not just only Chief Giles.
Let me ask you this. Would you cheat on a woman that was possessed by the devil? Because we know he cheats on her.
Yeah, we think that he cheats on her. It definitely seemed that way with that girl that was supposedly missing, and she was just gone upstate or somewhere else. That definitely seemed like he had cheated on her, because whenever she said something about they found my DNA in there, and he said, well, I bet you left a lot of DNA in there, or something grody like that. It was super creepy. It was. I was just like, ooh, creeper vibes.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah. I don't know. I would not cheat. Okay, to answer your question, no, I would not cheat on that person. I don't know quite yet what these possessions are, though, because like you said, Kat, whatever her name is, she is super duper sweet, super nice. So it doesn't seem like these people that are possessed are always evil, like Mildred. Mildred was just an old, can't take her as mean old lady. So,
yeah, regardless of whether she was possessed or not, she probably would have been exactly like that. We all know somebody like that.
If you're walking to school and you got to pass by their house, you pass by their house on the other side of the street. So
exactly.
Yeah, we definitely know those people.
Okay. Well, I did predict that it would be balls to the wall in this episode. I do remember that, and I'm going to bust myself out. It wasn't. In nonstop, in nonstop action, but this one I felt like was really, really good. All the things that we learned and we have set up for the last couple of episodes. I mean, we've only got 2 more episodes, right?
We have 3, 8, 9, and 10.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
8, 9, 10. You're right.
You're like, okay, let me carry the 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Let
me take off my shoes.
Bring that 1 over. Yeah, exactly.
That's to take off my shoes. But even though it wasn't super action filled, I thought this was just a really, really good episode.
I do too. I thought it was a phenomenal episode. I think the show is what it is at this point. It's not going to be The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones in the sense of, well, we don't know. Game of Thrones, whenever it first started off in season 1, was a very slow burn up until like episode 8, 9, and 10, and that's when shit just blew up, hit the fan,
right.
And it was crazy from then on out. So maybe that's what's going to happen with Outcast in episodes 8, 9, and 10, because at Comic-Con they did say that it's about to get crazy, which everybody says.
They always say that.
Yeah,
always.
That's true. But I don't feel like I need it to be crazy. I liken this show to something like The Leftovers for me. I don't think this show's had any crazy moments like The Leftovers had in season 1, but we're not finished yet.
Right.
I think that maybe the kid stuff in episode 1 was some of that. Maybe if they get a little bit more in that realm, I think it will have some more epic moments. But The Leftovers was just a slow burn, and you're uncovering all these secrets and things about these characters in the show. And that's what was interesting, was just the struggles that people have in everyday life, couple it with the fact that something crazy is going on, and then you just have more fun. So I'm really liking this show. Yes, it is slow. We've talked about that multiple times. A lot of people have bailed on the show because they're like, it's just too slow for me. But I'm really digging it. I like it. I think that there was a lot of interesting character development in this episode, a lot of interesting character conflicts with other characters and within themselves. That was a lot of fun. You didn't give your bacon score. I'm going to go 4 bacons for me. What about you?
I'm going to go 4.5 bacons.
Nice.
I liked it a lot. So I would have given it 5 bacons, but I just want to give them a little bit more room.
Gotcha. I understand that. I like the way you're thinking there.
Mm-hmm.
You're waiting for that epic blow your mind episode, and then it gets the 5 bacons. So one of the things that I wanted to point out before we wrap up this discussion is Mark and Megan. There's lots of bad shit that's happening with Megan and Mark, and I think it's like these characters are they're not inviting this stuff in, but they're not avoiding it like they should. And I feel like that's what these possessions and these demons feed on, and that's how they come into your lives. Because the Reverend already pointed that out. He said whenever his wife left him, he was lost. He didn't know what to do with themselves, and he said he could feel this warmth coming in him, and that he knew he was about to be possessed. And man, Megan and Mark, ooh, they're going down some dark paths right now.
Well, and it's just a shame. And that Donnie, what a piece of shit. Here she totally empties their accounts and pawns her wedding ring and to give him money so that he will go away. And he takes the money, at least we think he did, takes the money and then files charges and has his lawyers suing them. So it's just, he's a nasty dude. I don't care for them, but apparently Megan and Mark have, like you said, have had some issues already. Yeah,
I can't wait to see what happens between those two. It looks like it's about to blow up on them. Unfortunately, Mark getting suspended. They don't have a whole lot of money to begin with, and Megan just pawned all of her money away. Donnie, fuck you, man. Yeah. Fuck you. So, all right. Well, I think that's all my thoughts on this episode. We both thought it was a good episode. We want to know your thoughts, so you can leave them in the comment box down below, or you can email us. It's rantpocalypse@gmail.com. Thanks so much for joining us as we chatted on Outcast. We're going to go check out the trailer right now for episode 8, react to it, and see if we can predict anything that's going to happen.
Because I've been super good at it so far, so I'm feeling good about this.
All right, sounds great. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.